Lesson 3 for January 9 to 15, ready for teaching on January 16, When Your World is Falling Apart, and read by Dr. Percy Harrold. Tuesday, January 12, Another Chance. Our text today is Isaiah chapter 7, verses 10 to 13. Moreover, the Lord spoke again to Ahaz, saying, Ask a sign for yourself from the Lord your God. Ask it either in the depth or in the height above. But Ahaz said, I will not ask, nor will I test the Lord. Then he said, Hear now, O house of David, it is a small thing for you to weary men, but will you weary my God also? Ahaz did not respond to Isaiah's call for faith, so God mercifully gave the king another chance, telling him to ask for a sign that was deep as Sheol or high as heaven in verse 11. Here is one of the greatest invitations to faith ever given to human being. Unlike lottery or sweepstakes, God placed no restrictions in fine print. God did not even limit his offer to the half of his kingdom, as human rulers did when they reached the upper limit of their generosity. As we read in Esther chapter 5 and verse 6, At the banquet of wine the king said to Esther, What is your petition? It shall be granted you. What is your request? Up to half the kingdom? It shall be done. And Esther 7 and verse 2, And on the second day at the banquet of wine, the king again said to Esther, What is your petition, Queen Esther? It shall be granted you. And what is your request? Up to half the kingdom, it shall be done. And Mark chapter 6 and verse 23, He also swore to her, Whatever you ask me, I will give you, up to half the kingdom. He was ready and willing to empty all of heaven and earth for a wicked king if he would only believe. As a sign, Ahaz could have asked for a mountain of gold or soldiers as numerous as grains of sand by the Mediterranean. Question: Why did Ahaz respond in the way he did? Verse 12. But Ahaz said, I will not ask, nor will I test the Lord. At first glance, Ahaz's answer seems pious and respectful. He would not put God to the test, as the Israelites had centuries before during their wilderness wanderings, as we read in Exodus chapter 17 and verse 2. Therefore the people contended with Moses and said, Give us water that we may drink. So Moses said to them, Why do you contend with me? Why do you tempt the Lord? And Deuteronomy 6:16, You shall not tempt the Lord your God as you tempted him in Massah. But the difference was that God invited the king to put him to the test. Compare that with Malachi 3:10, Bring all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house, and try me now in this, says the Lord of hosts, if I will not open for you the windows of heaven, and pour out for you such blessing, that there will not be room enough to receive it. To take him up on his overwhelmingly generous gift would please him, not test his patience. But Ahaz was not even willing to allow God to help him to believe. He barred and bolted the door of his heart to shut out faith. Question: Read Isaiah 7, verse 13. What is Isaiah saying here? Then he said, Hear now, O house of David, is it a small thing for you to weary men, but will you weary my God also? Isaiah pointed out that by refusing to put God to the test, outwardly to avoid wearying God, Ahaz in fact wearied God. But the most troubling aspect of this verse is the fact that here Isaiah refers to my God by clear contrast in Isaiah 7:11, where the prophet asked the king to ask a sign of the Lord your God. When Ahaz refused the divine offer, he rejected the Lord from being his God. The Lord was the God of Isaiah, but not of Ahaz. And so to finish today, what does this day's study teach us about God's forbearance and willingness to bring all of us to salvation? What also does it tell us about the blindness and hardness of the human heart when not surrendered completely to the Lord? In the end, Even if God had given Ahaz any sign that he had wanted, do you think Ahaz would then have believed? Explain your answer.
Hi there. Thanks for watching this video on the Advent-band Ministries YouTube channel. Please subscribe and click the bell icon to be alerted whenever we upload new videos. So, until we meet him in the clouds, may God continue to bless you.
This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. It's supported by the Sabbath School Department and Hope Channel Australia and is rebroadcast by Christian Record Services and through podcasts at It Is Written in the United States, Hope Channel Germany, and through Apple iTunes and SoundCloud. Remember, God is always faithful.